During the summer of 1940, Sugihara was preparing to close his consulate and report to the Japanese embassy in Berlin for reassignment. He believed his work in Kaunas was over until the morning of July 27th.
I opened my bedroom window in the morning, and there they were, about 200 of them, I guess, surrounding the house. We had no idea who they were.
An unruly crowd of Jewish refugees with Curaçao visas was outside begging to see the Japanese consul.
There were children, women, and young men. They were all hanging onto the fence. The young men were trying to climb over the fence, but the security of the consulate was pushing them back.
I wanted to issue the visas, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had to wire the Home Office for instructions.
Sugihara cabled back to the Foreign Ministry in Tokyo. In his letter, he described the mounting problems in Kaunas and asked permission to issue the visas. But the request was denied. Over the next few days, Sugihara cabled back several times with visa requests. But the approval never came. Meanwhile, the crowds continued to build. Sugihara was faced with an agonizing decision. To disobey his government would surely bring punishment and disgrace. Also, assisting Jews in these anti-Semitic times could lead to grave consequences. Sugihara agreed to issue the transit visas.
I may have disobeyed my government, but if I didn't, I would be disobeying God.
Crowds of hopeful refugees arrived in droves. For the next 4 weeks, Sugihara worked tirelessly to fulfill their requests, issuing hundreds of transit visas a day. Many had to be handwritten in the complex characters of Japanese. When he checked the refugees' paperwork, he found that many were missing essential documents.
I'd say more than half of them had no passport. Under the conditions they had to deal with when they left their homeland, it seemed understandable. So we accepted anything, even blank sheets of paper with Curaçao, no visa required, handwritten as a destination.
Working 16 hours a day, Sugihara became obsessed with his mission. He even requested an extension on his stay in Kaunas, so he could continue his life-saving work. In early September, after writing more than 2,000 transit visas, Sugihara prepared to leave for Berlin.
He was so exhausted, like a sick person. Even though he was ordered to go to Berlin, he said he couldn't make it to Berlin and suggested we go to a hotel and rest before leaving. When we got to the hotel, the Jewish people came looking for us there. So he wrote some more visas in the hotel. The next day, when we got to the train station, they were there too. So he wrote more visas on the platform until the train left. Once we were on board, they were hanging on the windows, and he wrote some more. When the train started moving, he couldn't write anymore. Everyone was waving their hands. One of them called out, "Thank you, Mr. Sugihara. We will come to see you again." And he came running after the train. I couldn't stop crying. When I think about it, even now, I can't help crying.
今でも涙が出てきます。